What's going on, Micro Pigs? Tommy Post here with Micro Pig Off-Road Club, a micro four-wheel drive dedicated group, coming to you live from hell today. Actually, Central Florida in August, same thing. Well, I appreciate you guys coming along. Now let's go over here first. Now, for those of you that follow the channel, I mean, you kind of know that this car is it's not an engineering masterpiece. This thing is built all about function. It's built about doing it yourself, you know, rather than having to take it to a shop, because hell, most shops don't want to do anything off-road related to these things anyway. It's kind of its own thing. Well, the most important subject to most folks is lift. So we're going to touch on just a little bit more that I now have in the front. As you can see here, my mud tires come off right about the same time the kids go back to school. So when I find myself driving them back and forth to school more often than I'm taking them to the trail, my 235s go back on. It's just easier. Drives nicer on the road. It's not like riding on a washboard all the time. But these cut 31s are pretty much badass off-road. Well, I noticed the last couple of times that I've been off-road, as you can see, it is filthy. Yeah, I've got some cleaning to do. Got nothing else to do. Not that it's a show car, but I kind of noticed, you know, it seemed like the springs in the front struts are, I don't know, maybe a little bit soft, getting soft with age, I don't know. The struts themselves are just fine because it compresses and dampens the spring action of the front end just as it should. But if I hit a bump that's just really, really aggressive, I can almost feel that thing bottom out. So I wanted to put in a spring booster. Now this is as ghetto as it gets, but very, very functional. Yeah, you've all seen these before in the auto parts store in the cheapy aisle. See these little rubber guys? Yeah, it's shaped just like a dog bone. You can turn it one direction and it's taller than turning it the other direction. Well, this one, I want to say that those are about 3/4 of an inch thick in the shorter position. Well, the shorter one is the one I went with. It's already quite tight to get them in there. Basically, you jack the car all the way up and it'll spread those coils as far as the suspension travel is going to let you. Then just take a little baby sledge and a couple of long impact sockets, and you can almost drive those in between the coils like wedges. Spread them open, slide them in, knock them in with a piece of wood where you want them to sit, and they work just fine. That is what they are. It says 1.25 to 1.5 inch lift, but honestly, I don't buy it. It's not really that much. I would say though, realistically, when I stuck them back in there, I gained 1/2 inch of lift in the front. 1/2 inch of lift in the front is good, considering it was actually just a hair shorter, or a hair, yeah, shorter in the front than it was in the rear in my original configuration. So I took it out for a ride, bounced it around a little bit, and it is not banging as hard in a fully compressed position as it was before. I used to be of the impression that doing something like that would weaken the spring, but negative. I really don't buy it anymore, especially after enough years of messing around with these things. And besides, progressive springs have coils that flatten out against each other, and some of them are thicker alloy down at the bottom than they are at the top. That's spring steel. It's going to go back to wherever its capabilities will allow. So, extra 1/2 inch of lift in the front, balanced out nicely with the rear. And that's it. That's the quick tip of the day for getting a little extra. Thanks for joining. Micro Pig out.